So, like many of you, I saw and was blown away by X. Not only was it a fresh take on the slasher genre, but it also highlighted some fantastic talent, including the versatile and eerily beautiful Mia Goth, who played dual roles in the film. There was word that things were well on their way to finish a sequel to X, as it was let loose into theaters, and like many of you, I couldn't help smiling at the teaser at the end of X, flashing back 60 years to show just how the elderly Pearl became the cold-blooded killer she was in X. Well, Pearl was released last week, and I finally was able to see it, and wow, just wow. Let's talk about it. Welcome back to ML Miller Frights. I'm ML Miller. Before we begin, please do me a favor and punch that like button down below. Share this video with all of your social media addicted pals. Click subscribe to this channel and ring that bell for notifications. Pearl is new in theaters from A24 Films. It's directed by Ty West and written by Ty West and Mia Goth. It's 1918 and a wide-eyed country girl named Pearl, played by Mia Goth, lives with her domineering German mother Ruth, played by Tandy Wright, and invalid father, played by Matthew Sunderland. But when she isn't taking care of the farm and cleaning up after her father, Pearl dreams of becoming famous. When a church group rolls into town looking for a talented new actress to join their entertainment troupe, Pearl thinks this is her big chance to leave the farm behind her and achieve her dreams. Though there are a few obstacles in her way, Pearl has a way of dealing with them. A deadly way. Pearl is absolutely magnificent. I always knew director Ty West had it in him to make great films, but compared to his previous films, Pearl is at a whole nother level of filmic achievement. West makes Pearl look like a completely different movie from the very beginning, with a swirling orchestral score, brightly lit Technicolor skies and cornfields, and a bright-eyed Pearl dancing around gleefully in the barn as she does her chores. While the credits feel ripped from films like Wizard of Oz, Oklahoma, or Gone with the Wind, aggrandizing those epic films from a much more naive age, the opening montage has a bit of cynicism laced in it. West shares a bit of irony with the audience because most of the people watching this film already know it's going to be very violent and bloody. But the feelings conveyed by Goth are so genuine all the way through, and even though some of those more wholesome moments might have a bit of an acidic feel to it, it still rings as authentic. West doesn't go for easy shocks or scares here. He takes his time, letting us get to know Pearl and her tragic life. Her husband Howard, played by Alistair Sewell, is overseas in the military, leaving her alone as an adult, but treated as a child by her overprotective mother and crippled father. While it might start out looking like an overly simplified fairy tale magic land, West sticks with this and shows that we are seeing the world through the eyes of Pearl. So maybe the first few minutes will be worth a chuckle for you, but the mood becomes much more melancholy as we see the trials Pearl must face and how her cheerful exterior is simply a cover for a very tragic and damaged soul. The true achievement in Pearl is that it highlights the extraordinary range of actress Mia Goth. Sure, she's great at looking sultry as Maxine, and under all of that old age makeup making her look terrifying as Pearl in X, but as a young Pearl, Goth shines so brightly here in every scene. Whether she's talking to her cows or spearing someone with a pitchfork, Goth's Pearl is a genuinely tragic character you can't help but fall in love with and root to achieve all of her dreams. This film never takes its eye off Goth, and she commands every moment. When she smiled, I smiled. When she cried, so did I. While horror is my favorite genre, I must admit it's not one that spawns many performances that will go down as cinematic milestones. But Goth delivers a performance that deserves to be seen by people outside of the horror genre. Toward the end of the film, she delivers more than just a monologue, but an extended, desperate confession from the very pit of her soul. And while I must admit the monologue is a tiny bit long, it feels like some of the most honest-to-God cinema I've seen in a long time, describing feelings we all have and deal with every day. Yes, Pearl is a cold-blooded, self-centered psychopath, but Goth makes you look past all of that and witness her humanity. The film also sports some fantastic smaller performances, specifically the nuanced role of Mitzi, played by Emma Jenkins Purrow, who tries to support Pearl, but doesn't know what kind of monster she really is. This actress is someone I'm hoping to see a whole lot more of. And Tandy Wright is wonderful in the role that could have been a cliched, overprotective mother, but she allows a little sympathy to shine through that tough exterior from time to time to show that she does love Pearl in her own distanced and regimented way. David Corenswet is strong as the hunky projectionist who befriends Pearl and encourages her vie for stardom. And rounding out the cast is Matthew Sunderland, who has the arduous task of being force-fed and trapped in a body that cannot move or talk, but he does get to watch Goth in a bathtub, so you gotta take the good with the bad. The best part of Pearl is that there's more to come. Just as with X, Pearl ends with a teaser for the third film in this trilogy called Maxine, following Goth's character into the 80s after the events of X. Still, Maxine is going to have to be pretty amazing to top what West and Goth achieved with Pearl. Not only will it shock you and thrill you with all of its gore, carnage, and terror, but it will mesmerize you, steal your heart, and make you weep. You can't say that about many horror movies. West has achieved something special, and it deserves to be seen and enjoyed. You don't even have to have seen X to enjoy Pearl, as it can be enjoyed all on its own. Sure, there are small callbacks to X, but nothing so egregious that you would feel like you're missing something. I can't wait for Maxine, and I can't wait to see both Pearl and X again. With two films, West has become the filmmaker to watch in horror. See Pearl in the theaters. This year has been a phenomenal year for horror, and Ty West, Mia Goth, X, and now Pearl have been a huge part of it.
You're doomed to live the life you're meant to be, stuck inside your reality.